Hello, today we're going to do some chair yoga, and so many things can be done in a chair that can also be done standing up and making adaptations even lying down. Postures can be done sitting in a chair. So you need a chair that hasn't got any arms, that's all that you need. And let's begin by just sitting in a position where we are balanced. So feet touching the floor if possible. If your feet don't touch the floor, you might want to put them on a blanket or a bolster or something like that. Hands on the knees or anywhere really that you want them, maybe on the chair, but just making sure that the left hand and the right hand are balanced and that your cat is out of the way if you've got one. Now let's begin by just checking in to see how we're feeling. What time of the day it is. What have you done? What activities maybe have you done during the day that's brought you to this place of doing some chair yoga now? Feel free to close your eyes or keep them open throughout the practice. But just spending just maybe 30 seconds noticing how we're feeling right here and right now. And as we do so, perhaps even beginning to notice our breathing. If it helps you, feel free to put your hands on your belly or your lower ribs, and you might feel your breath beneath the palms of your hands and your fingers. Other ways we can notice our breathing is by perhaps feeling the flow of air in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils, or in and out through the mouth if you can't breathe through your nostrils. So just noticing each breath. I am inhaling and I am exhaling. Now, if it's available to you, you might like to start taking deeper breaths, perhaps exploring what it feels like to take one deep breath, one big inhalation and one exhalation, or you might just want to stay doing your breath awareness practice. Okay, and then in your own time, just release your hands if they were on your ribs or your abdomen. So anytime during this video, of course you can pause it if you want to do anything for a longer period of time than what we're doing on the video. Or you can go over things if they don't seem particularly clear to you. So we're going to start by a little kind of like a vinyasa flow sitting down practice where we notice our breath and try to notice how we're moving our body as well. So with this, we're trying to combine our breath and our body and our body and our breath. Okay, let's begin. Arms by the sides. We're going to inhale, bringing the arms out to the sides and palms touching and fingers touching. Now this is the peak of your inhalation. And then as we exhale, we're just going to draw this imaginary line down the front of the face to the centre of the chest, and that's where we exhale. So we're actually really slowing down our breathing. If this doesn't feel right for you, you can breathe in and out at your own pace. This is just a suggestion. So inhaling as the arms go up, hold the inhale as we begin to draw that imaginary line down the centre of the face and stopping at the heart centre, and then exhale. Or you might like to inhale as you come up, as the palms come together. Exhale as we're drawing this line down the front of the body. Just continue in your own time. There's a nice little affirmation that you might want to use when you do this. When we bring our arms up and the palms and the fingers touch, you might like to say, I am balanced, as you're Hands go down the centre of your body. We'll just do it one last time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, this time we're going to inhale. Bring our arms up and go into a very gentle back bend, just maybe even tilting the head back. And then exhale, we can fold all the way forward. Touching the floor if you want to, or touching your feet. And then we inhale and come up with our arms out. And exhale, bend to one side. And inhale through the centre. And exhale, bend to the other side. We might do a couple more of those. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, stretching up tall, and exhale to the other side. Inhale, arms out to the side, and exhale, we're going to go into a gentle twist. Inhale, arms out to the side, and exhale to the other side. And just continue in your own time. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. We can inhale again all the way back up, palms together, and exhale, drawing that imaginary line down the centre of the body. Inhale, stretch up and back, and exhale, folding forward. Inhale, coming up, arms to the side. Exhale, sideways bend. Inhale, coming up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, coming up, and exhale into the twist. Inhale, up. Exhale, twisting to the other side. Inhale, up. Palms together, and exhale, drawing that imaginary line down the centre of the body. One last time. Inhale, up, gentle back bend. Just tilt your head back a little bit if that's what you want to do. Exhale, forward bend. Maybe even trying to lengthen that exhale and squeeze all the air out of the lungs. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, arms to the side. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, arms to the side, and exhale, twist. Inhale, arms out to the side, and exhale, twisting the other way. Inhale for the last time, palms and hands, fingers touching. I am balanced. Exhale, coming down. All the way down now with your hands on your lap, or resting on the chair, and just sitting for a moment, perhaps with your eyes closed, and noticing how your body's feeling after doing that movement. Maybe noticing your breath, taking your awareness inside your body, perhaps even noticing how your joints and your bones are feeling, how the soft tissue of your body's feeling. Okay, we'll move on to our feet. Let's take our awareness to our feet. I'm going to lift mine up so you can see them. You can bring yours up if you want to. And what we're going to do is bring the toes back towards the body and then take them away from the body. So working into our ankle joints. Exhale as the toes come towards the body. Inhale as they move away. Now you can keep your feet on the floor for this practice if you want to, or just raise them slightly. Exhale as they come towards your body. Inhale as they move away. You might like to take your awareness to your ankle joints, just noticing how they're feeling right now. If we take our awareness to the body parts that we're moving, it can help enhance our yoga practice. Now we can move from here into circular movements if you like, bringing the big toes together and then taking the feet into circular movements. Just noticing how that feels now. Is that quite different for you than when you were just flexing and extending your joints. And we can go in the opposite direction because in yoga we're trying to do everything balanced. So if we go one way, we're trying to make the same amount of circles the other way as well. And then just lowering the feet. Once again, doing this after practice awareness. How do my feet feel? How do my ankles feel? It's okay if you don't feel anything, and it's okay if you do feel something. Okay, let's do some work with our hands. So just taking your awareness to your hands. We're going to bring our arms out in front of the body. But as we do that, it's always a good idea to lower the shoulders. So if we bring our arms out, sometimes we might tend to hunch our shoulders up towards our ears. But if we can try to keep our shoulders low and just let our arms rise up, that's a little bit more comfortable, and you might find you can keep your arms in this position for a bit longer. So we're going to exhale as we bend the wrists back, fingers towards the body, and then inhale as we take the fingers all the way to point down to the floor. Exhale, back, inhale, away. And just noticing what's happening in your wrist joints, the right wrist and the left wrist. How does that feel for you? Do they feel the same or do they feel different? I've just noticed my arms were lowering a bit, so I'm just going to bring them up a little bit more. And making that the last one, unless you want to keep going. And then just lowering your hands. Perhaps even having the palms up might give you more of an awareness of what's happening in your wrist joints. It's after practice awareness. How is my body feeling after I've done that practice? Okay, remembering to keep the shoulders low again. We're going to bring our arms up again and just wrapping our fingers around our thumbs. We're just going to start to make gentle circular movements with our hands, probably in the opposite direction. And let's make our breathing one inhalation and one exhalation for each rotation here. So it's quite a slow movement unless you're breathing fast. Just feeling into the wrist joints again. Perhaps you can notice sensations in your forearms as well. And we can go in the opposite direction too. Making that the last one. Lowering your hands, palms up or palms down after practice awareness. What do the forearms feel like? Even your shoulders maybe, wrists, hands and fingers. Okay, taking our awareness to our shoulders. We're bringing fingertips as close to the shoulders as we can. The upper arms are around about parallel with the floor. We're going to bring the elbows as close together as possible. And then bring the arms up. So we're making circular movements with our arms, taking our arms into pretty much their full range of motion. Now we can inhale as our arms come up. So when we're here, we're at the peak of our inhalation. And then as we exhale, we're kind of squishing the air out of the lungs by pushing into the rib cage. Inhale, up. Exhale, squeezing the air out of the lungs. This is an opportunity to explore what it feels like to take a big inhalation and a big exhalation if that's something that you'd like to try. And we can go in the opposite direction with this one too. This time we're inhaling as our arms come up, exhaling as they come down the front of the body, a little bit different to what it was like the other way. Inhale and exhale. And making that the last one, gently, with awareness, lowering your arms to your legs and letting them rest. Awareness into the shoulder joints, perhaps even the elbows, the upper arms. Okay, so we might move down the body a little bit and do some work into our hip joints. You might like to sit forward on your chair a little bit for this one. Now there's a couple of ways that you can do this. The idea is that we're going to try to get our foot into this position, so we're opening up the hip joint, taking it into external rotation. Now if possible, bring your foot onto the chair. If you've got the flexibility, you can take your foot onto your thigh. If you can't do that, you might like to have like maybe a lower chair in front of you, so you can bring your foot into even that position. That's still taking it into external rotation. When you get your foot into the position that you'd like it to be in and you're comfortable, it's probably a good idea to make sure that the torso is still vertical. You might find when your foot goes up that you tend to lean one way or another. So have a little think about it, whether you need to make any adjustments or not. And then you can begin to bounce your knee up and down. Now if that doesn't feel right for you, you can push your knee down and then just let it bounce up. Push it down and let it bounce up. Some people don't like this bouncy sensation in their hip joint. Noticing your breathing. Does this make you breathe faster or slower? Can you keep your awareness on your breath as well as awareness into the hip joint? Okay, so we'll just slow that down. Now to come out of this, we want to make sure that we're protecting our knee. So we bring our leg into a position like that where the upper leg and the lower leg are in alignment, and then gently encouraging the foot to move the floor towards the floor. A little bit of time in after practice awareness. Just considering how your hip joint is feeling. Okay, moving on to the other side. And maybe being aware that one side might be quite different to the other one. So if you didn't need a chair, a low chair for the first hip that you did, you might need it for this side. So gather any props that you might need and then begin your process of bouncing or pushing the knee away and letting it come back up. This is a good opportunity to explore what it might feel like to lengthen into the spine, trying to keep the spine long instead of hunching it over like that. You might just like to play around with that while you're doing this particular practice as well. Okay, and then it's time to come out of it. Bring the foot down, upper leg and lower leg in alignment, and then gently placing the foot on the floor. And then coming into this after practice awareness again. What does the other hip feel like now? Do they feel pretty much the same? They might feel quite different. It doesn't matter. Either way is fine. Okay, we'll do a couple of standing ones to finish off with. So we'll come to a standing position. Just move my chair aside a little bit, because this is actually a really nice stretch for the whole of the back, particularly the lower back. So depending on how high the back of your chair is, will depend on how much flexion you get in your spine. So we're just going to place our hands on the back of the chair, and then maybe have the feet about shoulder width apart. Got my cat on my chair as a weight so it doesn't tip up. Very considerate of her. And we're going to inhale and then exhale, just starting to fold forward. Now just go as far as you feel comfortable. There's a nice hamstring stretch as well. Then coming down and holding it. Just noticing how you're feeling and where are you feeling this. It's actually quite a good opener for the chest as well. I can feel my chest just kind of hanging towards the floor. I can feel this in my lower back and in my hamstrings because my feet, the soles of my feet are flat on the floor. Noticing your breath in this position too. Perhaps even noticing how your head feels. Would you like to let it hang, or does it feel more comfortable for you to try to keep your head in alignment in between your arms? So to come out of this, bend your knees. You're coming out of it nice and safely, protecting our lower back as we come to a standing position. Just noticing how your body's feeling. Okay, the next one we can do is a warrior. Excuse me, Crossy. Doesn't like being moved. So, do a warrior on a chair. We can take our leg into this position. So one leg is back, sitting right on the edge of my chair. My left leg is back. My right leg is pretty much at a right angle. And just going to make any little minor adjustments I might need to make. And we're just going to inhale and bring our arms up. This is another good opportunity to explore what it feels like to lengthen the spine. Imagining that your fingertips are being pulled towards the ceiling. Now you can soften this leg that's back if you need to. That makes it more comfortable for you. Or try to keep it as straight as possible. Inhaling and exhaling. A couple of options here are to take your arms into the position of warrior two. If you do that, the back arm tends to want to move down, so it might be a big effort for you to keep it up, which is good. Strengthens the shoulders. There's also a gentle warrior, where the arm that's forward, we turn the palm so it's facing up, and then go into a gentle bend. So there's a few options here. You might want to play with a few of those. And then coming out of that, bringing the arms down, just coming to sit at the edge of your chair, taking your awareness into your body. That's quite a big stretch, so you really might be noticing the effects of that practice physically. And we'll move on to the other side. Remember, one side often feels quite different to the other side. Bring ourselves into position. And inhale, bring the arms up. The other options, warrior two, or the soft warrior, sometimes it's called the gentle warrior or the sun warrior. These are times where if you want to hold it for longer, you might want to pause the video and just play around with those different shapes after practice awareness. Sometimes after doing something that's quite strenuous like that, it might feel nice to take a big inhalation and exhalation. Or sometimes it might be good to notice, am I breathing faster now as my body's recovering? I'm just trying to notice our breathing as we do our yoga practice. Okay, so I think we'll finish off, just making yourself comfortable in your chair, with just some gentle head and neck movements. So with these we can inhale, and then exhale, taking the chin towards the chest, and feel that lengthening. Perhaps you can feel that lengthening through the back of the neck. Relax the shoulders, relax your face, think about your jaw, forehead. There's sometimes areas where we feel some tension. Inhale, bringing the head up, and exhale, tilting it back as much as you feel comfortable. You might feel a stretch right through the front of your neck here. bringing the head back to the central position. Inhale. Exhale, turn your head as though you're looking over one shoulder. Inhale, coming back to the centre. Exhale, turning the head to look over the other shoulder. Inhale, centre. Exhale, tilting the head, bringing the shoulder towards the ear, trying not to bring that shoulder up to meet the ear, but just letting the ear move towards the shoulder. Inhale up and exhale, other ear to other shoulder. And inhale up. And then just taking the head into circular movements, as though you're drawing a circle with your nose. Inhale and exhale for each rotation. If this doesn't suit you, just choose one of the other movements to repeat. We're going to go in the other direction as well, because it's our attempt to create as much balance into this little time we have doing yoga as we can. Try to be more conscious of that, because we're probably not that conscious of keeping balanced in our everyday activities. And then finishing up. Breathe after practice awareness, considering how your neck's feeling, shoulders, your head. Now those head and neck practices, I would probably suggest that you do more than just one of each of those. Another option that you can do, especially in the tilt, is to take one hand and place it on the opposite ear. So this instance, I'm taking my right hand, placing it on my left ear and just applying a little bit of gentle pressure, just to enhance that sideways stretch a little bit. So these are ones that you might want to take a little bit of time playing around with too. The other thing you can do with head and neck practices is take the head to one side and then with the opposite arm, grab hold of the wrist and just give that a gentle downward pull. Now in this position, you might want to move your chin towards your chest or move your chin away from the front of your body, and until you find a spot where it really feels like that stretch is exactly where you might need it to be. And just holding it when you get there and breathing. It's actually a really lovely practice to do. Just applying gentle pressure on the wrist, holding it with your other hand. And moving the head backwards and forwards, chin to the chest and then chin away from the chest until you find that spot. I've just noticed that I'm leaning forward a bit. So if I lean back and then apply the pressure, that enhances that a lot more. Okay, and we'll finish up by just noticing our breath again. I am inhaling, I am exhaling. And if it's available to you, you might want to express a little bit of silent gratitude for taking a few minutes out of your day and doing some yoga. Noticing your breath, noticing your physical body and the connection between the two. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.